Hello everyone. Today we're going to start a review from last year. So this will be a review of chapter 1, the first 5 sections. So 1-1 through 1-5. We are going to look at the main topics of the first half of the chapter that we need to go over. And then by the end of the lesson, you should hopefully remember how to use the order of operations to simplify and evaluate algebraic expressions, and should know the sets of real numbers and their properties. So here's a quick warm-up to see how much you guys know already, or just a preview exactly what we're doing. So if we're reading words and we need to convert it into a number, we're just going to read it as we go. So we have 14, so I'm just going to write the number 14 here, is less than. So if 14 is less than, that means the minus goes in front. The quotient of, so that means we're going to have a division sign here of 63 and a number h. So we're going to change this division sign just into a fraction bar, and we're going to write 63 over h. Okay, and maybe I should make that a different color, but we'll just leave it like this for now. All right, simplify. Remember the order of operations is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Some of you may just remember it as PEMDAS. All right, so we have to do parentheses first, so we're going to work inside here. That's going to give us, and then inside the parentheses, we are going to do the exponent first. So 3 cubed is 27. So we're going to keep the parentheses, 27 minus 4 plus 5 squared. All right, so we're working inside the parentheses, and we did the exponents. So now we have to do the other operation. Parentheses is still first. We got to go back to the beginning of order of operations after each step. 27 minus 4 is 23, plus 5 squared is what we have left over. Now we need to go back through the order of operations, and we should be doing the exponent. So now we have 23 plus 25, so our answer should be 48. And then evaluate for c equals 3 and d equals 5. Remember, evaluate simply means to plug in and solve. So we're going to just plug these numbers in here. So we have 2 plus 5 in parentheses. We're going to square that. And we're going to subtract 3 squared. And I must have forgot to put a c in here somewhere, but that's okay. We're going to do the parentheses first, so we find out we have 7. We rewrite everything else. Now we do the exponents because there's no more parentheses. We have 49 minus 9, which equals 40. Hopefully that refreshes your memory a little bit. Now we're going to go through some of the rules and definitions and responsibilities. So we're going to start with the first section, which is 1.1, and it tells us what a variable is and the difference between a numeric expression and an algebraic expression. The way to best remember it is a numeric expression is what we're used to. Now we're dealing with algebra, and algebraic expression includes variables. When we're converting from words to an algebraic expression, these are some things that might help. Remember, if you see more than or sum, we are adding. If you see less than or difference, we're subtracting. If you see product of, times, twice, something along those lines, it's multiplication. Or if you see quotient divided by, it's going to be division. And there are other keywords that we'll look at as we work through word problems that have special meanings in math. Remember, math is like learning a completely new language. All right, so again, order of operations is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or some of you just simply might remember the acronym PEMDAS. All right, and remember that's parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division are done at the same time, and addition and subtraction are done at the same time. So once again, we have another example here. We want to work inside the parentheses first. So inside those parentheses, we got to solve for the exponent. 2 to the 4th is 16 minus 6. 16 minus 6 is 10. We bring everything else down. All right, we should have brought everything down after this step. It's a good habit to get into. 10 squared minus 6 times 2. Now we want to do the exponents. So we have 100 minus 6 times 2. And now we want to multiply or divide because there's no more parentheses or exponents. We have 100 minus 12. We're left with one operation, so you can just go ahead and finish. We should get 88 as our answer. Real numbers and its subsets. All right. So remember, everything on this screen here is considered a real number. So we have natural numbers, which are what we know naturally. These are our counting numbers. This is how we start counting when we're younger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nobody learned how to count with 0 because as a young child, we can't conceptualize the number 0. We don't understand nothing. All right. Then there's whole numbers, which if you think of a hole in the ground, it looks like a O or a 0. So whole numbers include 0. So whole numbers are all of the natural numbers and 0. Integers are everything we've just went through. That's why those circles are inside integers, and also include negative numbers. Rational numbers, the key word is ratio. So it's anything that can be written as a ratio, which also means fraction. Okay, and what that is also is a rational number is anything that has a terminating decimal, which means the decimal stops, or anything that ends in a repeating decimal. So terminating or repeating decimal is a rational number. And then irrational number is what everything else is. So irrational numbers are decimals that don't terminate and don't repeat. The last thing we're going to review from this chapter are the properties of real numbers. So we have the commutative property of addition and multiplication. And remember, it's commute, like travel, not commune, all right, like community. So this is not grouping. This is a commute, so it's from point A to point B and then back from point A to, or point B to point A. So commutative means we can switch the order. The associative property, we want to think of an association as a group of people. So associative property deals with grouping. So it means we can switch the group. The identity properties, we probably have these to memory. We may not remember to refer to them as the identity properties, but it says that anything plus 0 is itself and anything times 1 is itself. We also probably remember the 0 property, which says anything times 0 is 0, and the multiplication property of -1, which says anything times -1 is its opposite. And remember, you want to think of this as opposite of A, not negative A, because we do not know the value of A. A could be negative, which would actually make that whole thing positive. So we want to think of that as the opposite of A. How does all this apply? We're just refreshing, we're using this time to refresh your memory from what you learned in Part A of algebra, because all of what you learned last year and all of what you learned this year will be tested on the Keystone exams at the end of the year, and we need to make sure we understand exactly what we're doing. All right, and we will spend more time on these areas. If you need more time refreshing or reviewing or completely forget how to do it, we will have that time as we move through the course. All right, and this review will last for the next few weeks. I think it's 2, maybe 3, and we will reconstruct the building blocks necessary to learn the new algebra material. Please do not forget to ask questions.